1987 Canadian 1 cent coin. Today, we're diving into the fascinating, and often confusing, world of Canadian pennies. Specifically, we're going to talk about a little coin you might have in your junk drawer right now, a coin that, at first glance, seems utterly worthless, the 1987 Canadian 1 cent piece. Now, you're probably thinking, a penny? From 1987? What's the big deal? And for most of them, you'd be right. But what if I told you that a tiny, almost invisible detail on a handful of these pennies could turn that 1 cent into a small fortune? This is the story of the 1987 Harry H. penny, a numismatic mystery that has collectors scratching their heads and scouring their piggy banks to this day. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why this simple coin has such a dramatic story. To understand why the 1987 penny is so special, we need a little context. The Canadian penny, as we know it, has a long and storied history. It's been through multiple monarchs, changed its design, and even its composition. The 1987 penny is part of the final era of this coin, made of copper-plated zinc. It features the iconic image of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the classic maple leaf twig on the reverse. By the 1980s, the penny was a staple of Canadian currency. Millions were minted every year, and they circulated everywhere. The Royal Canadian Mint in Winnipeg was a master of mass production. So, in 1987, they were busy cranking out millions upon millions of these coins. Normal, run-of-the-mill coins, right? Well, that's where things get interesting. Because somewhere along the line, something went wrong, or, depending on your perspective, something went wonderfully right. So, what are we looking for? It all comes down to a tiny, almost microscopic detail on the reverse side of the coin. Look closely at the date, 1987. Now, a standard 1987 penny, which makes up the vast majority of the mintage, has a clean, well-defined 1 in 9. The date looks normal, but the rarest of these coins has what collectors call a Harry H or Droopy H variety. If you look at the H in Elizabeth II on the obverse, you'll notice a faint, almost ghostly line extending from the left leg of the H, connecting it to the letter E. It looks a bit like a double strike or a small error in the die. This Harry effect is believed to be the result of a die flaw. A small number of pennies were struck with this defective die before the error was caught and corrected. The exact number of these coins is unknown, but they are incredibly scarce. So we've established it's a rare error coin. But what does that mean for its value? Well, for a normal 1987 penny in circulated condition, you're looking at 1 cent. Maybe a few cents if it's in great shape, but for a certified Harry H variety, we're talking a whole different ballgame. The value of these coins is highly dependent on their condition, also known as their grade. A coin with little to no wear, known as uncirculated, will command a much higher price than one that's been rattling around in a cash register for 30 years. Prices for these can vary, but it's not uncommon to see them sell for hundreds, even over $1,000, at auction. Why? Because the market for error coins is incredibly strong. Collectors love the unique stories behind them, the thrill of the hunt, and the rarity. It's a treasure hunt with a real-world reward. Now for the fun part. Let's say you're a seasoned collector, or you just found a 1987 penny and you're curious. How do you check it properly? First, you'll need a good light source and a magnifying glass or a loupe. Don't rely on your naked eye. This detail is truly tiny. Place the penny under the light. Look at the date, and then rotate the coin to look at the H in Elizabeth. You're looking for that faint line connecting the left leg of the H to the E. It can be hard to see, and it can be confused with a scratch or a blemish. That's why it's so important to have a good reference photo. If you think you found one, the next step is crucial. You need to get it authenticated. The best way is to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine it, confirm the error, and give it a grade, which will solidify its value. So, there you have it. The 1987 Canadian penny, a humble little coin with a huge secret. It's a perfect example of how the smallest details in the world of numismatics can lead to the biggest discoveries. The next time you see a stray penny, don't just dismiss it. Have you found a rare coin before? Or are you now inspired to go on your own coin hunt? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe for more numismatic deep dives, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!